Great, thank you for inviting me, Lilith. I'm Martin Körling, work at RISE. RISE is trying to be very active in this area. We worked with Magnus, for example, on a sort of a Euro HPC machine for Sweden. And I will also, maybe a bit of introduction about myself, actually, so you understand what this presentation is coming from. I'm quite new at RISE. I spent a bunch of years at Ericsson. I spent a bunch of years in Silicon Valley, actually. And so during the time where the sort of modern software stack was really formed with Docker containers and cloud technologies and all of that. So that's the perspective I want to bring in. Maybe I want to bring in a little bit outside-in view of HPC, if I may, in this presentation here. And look at a little bit how to unify maybe cloud technologies and HPC technologies and so on. Also, actually, 30 years ago, in the building where we had lunch yesterday, I had my room, actually. And we did electron structure simulation, solving the Schrödinger equation, doing MPI over some DEC alpha stations that we bought. So that was kind of HPC 30 years ago, maybe here. So that's a little bit my background. RISE is an absolutely fantastic organization. It's a government-owned company, 3,000 people, with the task of helping Swedish industry and public sector to digitalize and to do research and really sort of create new solutions. And of course, this is a pretty fantastic setting to explore how to use HPC. This is from the website. And I have difficulty finding any topic that is not on the list, so to speak. We do forest industry, we do steel, we do chemistry. We help the entire sort of Swedish industry landscape. So and I'm working in the AI center of RISE. So I'm basically theoretically involved in helping these guys digitalizing and girls. So the question that we get is, how can we digitalize? How can we do software sort of transformation? How can we do big data transformation? Of course, HPC is a part of that, but it's not the only part of that. And the maturity is different. You can imagine how different the maturity is around all of these SMEs and large companies and so on. And here you can see, if you want to have, there are hundreds of videos on the RISE YouTube channel where you can see case studies, you know, what are we doing in chemistry, what are we doing in energy systems, etc., etc. So this is quite amazing. And there is quite a lot of AI stuff in here as well, I have to say, since I'm working with that. So we're helping with AI methodology and big data and so on. Okay, so that's what I plan to say about RISE as such. It's a big opportunity. But now, I should say one more thing, and of course we are super happy to now actually have ENCCS on board. So RISE is hosting, together with Linköping University, RISE is hosting ENCCS now. This is super important for us as an enabler. Okay, now, a little bit the outside-in view on HPC. So this is how I see it. The workload piece is really so heterogeneous part of different type of applications. I think traditionally it's been like HPC software is running on HPC hardware. And of course, what is happening to a large extent is a horizontalization of this. And it's starting with AI, so a little bit, but I think it's wider than that. I see a lot of cases where you maybe start out with an HPC calculation, but what you really want to do is to expose the results of that calculation in a web app, maybe, or in an interactive session. Maybe you want to do batch processing, but you also want to do, I'm not saying anything new now, I'm just kind of telling you back what I hear from the HPC centers as well. You want to do interactive work, Python notebooks, Jupyter, what do I know, sort of, and then you want to do, when you know what you want to do, you want to start your batch job, so to speak. So we really have to be better at supporting users. This is the poor user up here. How can she move across these boundaries in a super easy way? And of course, we need to sort of improve the application process, and we have to improve the cost structure of all of this, but we have to help the user in other ways as well. And it's heterogeneous down here as well. So HPC has to fit into a structure of cloud providers, not only US providers, but actually European cloud providers. So I'm working quite a lot to understand how we can help the European cloud industry to get sort of better in competition in the world, in the global competition. And of course, people are building their own stuff in-house. So this is the challenge that the user has, okay? It's chaos here, but cost is important, ease of use is super important, security, privacy, we talked about all of this. The cloud providers are not sitting still. I think what is happening now is that there is a bunch of new cloud providers that can offer GPUs and sort of AI-focused infrastructure as a complement to all of the known ones. I won't talk so much about this. You know the cloud industry sort of evolution here. I think it's important that the HPC community probably needs to see itself in the context of this, and we do. In terms of software, we know that it's a huge amount of possible type of software that people will want to run on this infrastructure. So I don't think there is a lack of applications. It's a huge set of application softwares that users want to run on this. Okay, so here is what I think we need to work on a little bit more. And it's nothing new. I hear that many of the EuroHPC centers, for example, Lumi, we talk to Lumi quite a lot. There is a lot of work done on the software layer. So what I see is, yeah, different systems have different system software solutions. I don't think there is so much to do about that. We have Slurm and other systems here. We have Kubernetes and other systems there. I don't expect there to be a huge sort of convergence on that layer, because there are different reasons for doing stuff in different ways. Up here, we have people like Lilith's team and the competence, you know. I think these people need to really be up on the high competence layer, so to speak, helping people solve problems. You should not here be concerned with how to move data here, how to sort of build a Docker container. That should be self-service. You know, people here should have a fair amount of self-service support so that you here can focus on value creation, solving the hard problems, so to speak. And therefore, we need to have a layer in between. So I think we should discuss that much more. And I know that the Lumi is working on this. Probably the other EuroHPC centers are working on this. We should come together, probably, and create a good self-service platform layer that can work across here. So that application support can do what they should do. Here we basically solve how to construct images, how to move data, how to make it easy to use, etc. And we are working on this. So RISE, we have some activities in this area. Otherwise, I wouldn't sort of stand here talking about. So I think we have some hunches of how that should be solved, basically. I won't go into that right now, but I believe it's possible to do something like that. Make it easy for the users. So that's basically what I wanted to open up. I wanted to open up that discussion basically and see if you agree or not, sort of. But the short summary: RISE is in a position to really interact with the industry players. When we look at this, and I try to see how can I support all of these industry players, it's not just an HPC problem. I need to offer them big data transformation, I need to offer them AI transformation, I need to offer them HPC. But I cannot just offer them HPC. I need to have something that is more holistic. And therefore, I need some platform software sort of to help them with that, so that the few people we have on the application support can really focus on creating high value. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin.